Oh, dear, dear, dear. 3, 2, 1. Hey, hey, hey. Hi, Facebook. Hi, YouTube. Hi, folks, family, friends. How are you? What's going on? We're trying to fix things. Can we? We become aware. Yeah, let's see. All right. So it's after 12 o'clock, and I am RosaJ, doing it God's way each and every day. I am here recapping and doing the Facebook Live that I normally do at 6:30 in the morning. And I want to thank, hey, Hudson, I want to thank some of you. I want to thank you all for sending out your prayers this morning. You know, I had a little episode this morning with my body. Uh, so I wasn't really consciously fit to do the lesson. However, this lesson goes quite well when I looked at it as I was going through my experiences. And the lesson is there is another way of looking at the world. There is another way to look at the world. There is another way to see your situation. And it fit right in to what I was going through. Because when I have these low sugar attacks, my body seems to lose control. So I had to regroup. I had to regroup and say to myself, I had to breathe and say, there is another way to look at this world. And I did. So I got myself together and I did what I needed to do to lift up my level of sugar, and it was all right. See, a lot of times when I'm in the midst of that, instantly, panic is the easiest out when you're not feeling your right self. So when saying that, there's another way to look at this, Rosa. There's another way to look and see this world, this particular situation. I don't have to panic. I don't have to be afraid. I don't have to lose control. I don't have to do any of those negative things. I can look at the other side. So I don't have these experiences much, but when I do, it could be a scary situation for me. But today, I wasn't afraid. I just kind of did what I needed to do, which was take my glucose and sugar and then eat and then sit still and let it build up. But I wasn't conscious enough to actually go through this experience right here and live. So let's talk about what it is that normally we don't have to do. What is it that we don't have to do and we don't want the experience or the situation to take control over our emotions, where we spit up on people or we get angry with people or we X people or whatever we do. We don't want that to happen. So therefore, we need to think about what we're doing. So today's idea is an attempt to recognize that you can shift your perception of the world in both its outer and inner aspects. For example, this morning when I woke up, my eyes were blurred. That told me the first thing, so I couldn't see clearly. And my inner world wants to say, oh, snap, what's going on? I can't deal with this. Da, 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 da. So I had to breathe. I said, okay, let's test the sugar. It's learning how to act accordingly in peace and harmony, no matter what chaos is going on around you. So this is A full 5 minutes should be devoted to the morning and the evening application of this thought. There is another way of looking at the world. In these particular periods, the idea should be repeated as often as you find comfortable, though unhurried. The application should not be hurried. It's essential to slow it down when you're repeating this. Alternate between the survey of your outer world and your inner perceptions, but without an abrupt sense of shift, which means you can see something and say, oh, you can see something that might be a little disturbing outside with your eyes. There's another way of looking at this situation. There's another way of looking at the world. And then go inside and feel those emotions. There's another way of looking at this situation. There's always another way. There's always another way. There's always another way. Just like I used to say, there's always another story behind that story. Merely glance casually around the world you perceive as outside of yourself, and then close your eyes, survey the inner thoughts with equal casualness. It's no big deal. You just want to see that there is another way to see it. Begin that process. Try to remain equally uninvolved in both, and to maintain this detachment as you repeat the idea throughout the day. That's the process, to become detached from situations that could totally unnerve you. And that takes great effort in some people's part. What I've learned through this process is that it doesn't take a long time. It doesn't hurt me in any fashion. I know a lot of us have seen or heard things that could really unravel us. But how do you handle it? Do you stay unraveled all day long? Do you realize that there's nothing that you could possibly do about that situation? The only thing you can control and manage in any situation is yourself. Detachment is a good thing. Not that you don't notice it, not that you don't have sympathy with it or empathy with it, or you don't feel it, but not to become so attached to it that it totally overwhelms you, depresses you, makes you happy, overwhelmed. We don't want that. We want to be in freedom and peace at all times. The shorter exercise period should be as frequent as possible. Specific applications of the day's ideas should also may be made immediately when any situation arises which tempts you to become disturbed. Somebody says something to you today. Before you even go into, let me get them back. Before you even go as, how dare you? Just say to yourself, there is another way of looking at this. And then move away from it. If you need to come back, but don't let it disturb you. Remember to apply today's idea the instant you become aware of distress. The instant you become aware of distress. There is another way of looking at this. It may be necessary to take a minute or so to sit quietly and repeat the idea to yourself several times. Close your eyes. Closing your eyes will probably help you in this formation of this application. If you become distressed, go inside and say, there is another way at looking at this. There is another way of looking at this. There is another way of looking at this. It's so easy. It's so that those, there is another way of looking at this. 9 words could change your whole perspective. So in the comments, if you have a situation that has come up, did you remember to say, there's another way of looking at this? Before you reacted, remember, we're learning how to move in freedom, love, peace, and happiness. Yes, yes. I am RosaJ, doing it God's way each and every day. Go to my YouTube channel, RosaJ, and subscribe. Like my page, I am affirmation. All kinds of videos and sayings of lifting up is there. I shall see you tomorrow. All is well. As I say to many people, life is good and all is well. Be blessed. YouTube, are you over there? I have not been over there to close you out. How you doing, YouTube? How are you? I am done. Yes, I am. So YouTubers, tell me where you're from. Tell me what you're doing. Leave a comment. Like my page. Subscribe to my channel. And I shall see you tomorrow. Peace.